Before we hand out the awards tonight, I want to visit with the clubbers and the rest of you in attendance for just a few minutes this evening. The clubbers came this year and they've exercised their faith, and God has worked in their lives, whether they realize it or not. But I want to take a chance this evening to visit with them just a little bit, one more counsel time or lesson time, if you would have. Clubber's question for you to think about is, what will you do this summer? School year is almost over. The Awanas Club year is over, and we won't start again until September. So what will you do? Not on Wednesday nights, but what will you do this summer? You don't have to go to school every day. Maybe you'll go on a vacation. Maybe you'll play a sport. Maybe you're going to go swim at the pool. Maybe you just plan on playing all day long every day. That sounds like fun. Maybe you plan on riding a bike. I think I heard one of our clubbers last week kind of posed this question at some point in time, and they said they were going to sleep all day. So maybe that's what you plan on doing. Do you plan on exercising this summer? I see a lot of no's. Shake your heads. But I'm going to challenge you and say, no matter what you do this summer, I'm going to challenge you to exercise your faith. You spent time coming to Awanas on Wednesday nights this year to learn from the Word of God, and I'm going to challenge you to take that information that you have been taught, those verses that you have learned, and put them into use. Tonight I want to show you one way, and this is just a simplistic way, that you can do just that and exercise your faith this summer. And I'm going to do that by reading a verse out of the book of Matthew, and I'm going to ask you two more questions for you to answer. And everybody's answer may be a little bit different, but I want to go through this with you. So if you have your Bible, if you want to turn to the book of Matthew, chapter 7. I want to look at verse 12. And in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 tells us, "Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets." Now, most of you parents out there probably recognize this as the golden rule. At least that's what I was taught it was called. It took me years to realize that the golden rule actually came from the Bible. Whether anybody, the people who taught me that or used that when I was a kid, whether they knew that or not, that the golden rule actually comes from the Bible here, and it's something that Jesus has told us here. Now, I'm not sure how much the golden rule is actually shared much anymore nowadays, or if it's shared, if it's not called the golden rule, but I know that it's still an important rule for us to follow today as it was back when Jesus said it. And I also know that the world would be a much better place to live if everyone followed this rule and followed it more often. So my first question, I said I was going to read a verse to you, and I was going to ask you two questions. My first question is, in what we read here, is it says, "Whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them." My first question is a little bit backwards from that verse. My first question is, how do others treat you? Do others treat you nice and polite and kind? Sure, some do. I still get when I hold the door for somebody somewhere, I still get thank yous from time to time. But I would also ask you, sometimes are people not very nice and not very kind to you? And I'd say we could all probably say, yes, that's the case as well in this world that we live in. And clubbers, I would ask, would you believe me if I said that this is something you have in common with Jesus, who gave us this rule that we just read? See, Christ was treated much like we are treated today in a lot of respects. He was rejected by many. They had disbelief in who he was, what he taught, if what he was teaching was correct or not, if what he was doing was right. And ultimately he was killed for that disbelief that people had in him. So like you, Christ, who gave us this rule, was not treated the best at all times. However, I do want you to know tonight, though, although that Jesus was not treated the best at all times, he did treat everyone with love at all times. Some examples would be he healed many people. We can read many accounts in the Bible where someone was healed from blindness, lameness, brought back to life. So we can see that Jesus cared for those people. He didn't talk to only people who were nice to him. He talked to everybody and treated everybody the same. He taught others how to be saved. And an ultimate example of how Christ treated everybody with love is that while he was on the cross, he asked God to forgive those who had crucified him. That's an ultimate measure of love. Most of us probably would not take time to ask for that. We would have many other thoughts going through our heads. So my second question for you tonight is, how do you treat others? This verse tells us that whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. That's the golden rule of treat others the way you want to be treated. So, do you treat other people the way the world treats us as Christians sometimes? Not so nice, maybe a little mean, maybe we're in a grouchy mood, and we just don't treat people nicely? Or do you treat others like Christ treated others? That is the ultimate example we have of how we should act. And Paul, even in the book of Galatians, touches on this subject for us. If you want to turn over to the book of Galatians this evening, the 6th chapter, we can see what Paul had to say about this. In Galatians 6, verse 10, Paul tells us, "As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." Paul tells us here to do good unto all men. Paul didn't say, do good to your friends. Hey, do good to that person who opened the door for you. Do good for you to that person who gave you that gift. He said to all men, like Jesus told us to treat others the way that we want to be treated. Now, it's not always easy for us to treat others the way that we would like to be treated, because who in here wants to be treated badly? Anybody here want somebody to be mean to you? I don't think any of us want that, do we? So it's not easy for us to treat people the way we want to be treated, fairly, kindly, nicely, politely. But I will promise you that if you earnestly ask God for the guidance, the patience, the strength that you need to treat others that way, He will provide for you what you need to be able to treat others the way you want to be treated. So I challenge you, I'll tell you once again this evening, I challenge you this summer to exercise your faith. And clubbers, the one way that you can do that, one easy way that you can do that, is by letting others see Christ in you through your actions and the words that you use on a daily basis. You may not realize you're having an effect on somebody, but as I've shared with most of you or all of you at one time or another, you never know who's watching. And you never will probably understand the effect your actions have on other people who are watching you. Our faith should be visible to the world around us. And one way that you can do that easily this summer is to treat others the way that you want to be treated.